Hi guys and welcome to my channel, DayDreamDollBujo. I'm Nicole and today I'm going to be showing you a flip through of my first ever bullet journal way back in 2018. I asked over on my Instagram account what it was that you wanted to see next. I gave a couple of options and this is the one that you chose. So I'll leave a link to my Instagram down in the comments. Obviously it was the first journal that I did and the lettering and stuff I was still practicing, getting used to how things go, practicing my brush lettering, and yeah, so some parts are better than others, and yeah, without further ado, let's jump straight in. So this is the Lemome A5 dotted notebook. It's got a hardback cover which is faux leather and all the binding is stitched. It's got a lay flat design as well with 180 pages which are all unnumbered and off-white, and they're 120 GSM. It's got an elastic closure and it's also got an elastic pen loop on the side, which is obviously really handy if you're travelling or something. And it did come with a bookmark, but mine came off. I will leave a link in the description box down below to these on Amazon. I think they were around £12, but I'll find a link and I'll leave it down below for you. I also like to put a vinyl sticker on the front of my notebooks. This one's a quote from Lord of the Rings: "Not all those who wander are lost." Moving on to the first page as you open the journal, there's 3 lines for you to write down your name and a couple of details or anything that you want. I decided, because it was such a blank space, I decided to put my key here. So I chose to do a fold out key so that you could see it wherever you are in the journal. And I thought this was a really good idea because I was a beginner, so I didn't know any of the bullets or anything like that. I thought it was just a nice idea to be able to see them on each weekly spread so that I knew what it was that I was doing whilst I was learning the system, without having to continually flip back to whatever page I had done the key on. So this journal came basically completely blank. There was no key, like I said, there was no index, so I decided to put my own index in as well because I really liked the idea of having an index, so I dedicated 3 pages to it. As you'll see on the next page, I didn't really keep up with using it. Even though I fill out my index now, I still don't really go back to it. So I think it's just for maybe future reference that I will do it. But these pages were all unnumbered anyway, so I was just kind of filling out the numbers as I was going along. So next up is my 2018 cover page. I chose to do a old style of numbering, kind of like a typewritery kind of look, like Old English, and I quite like the way that that turned out. Then over on the right hand page, I decided to do a quote that says, "Take a chance, all life is a chance. The man who goes farthest is generally the one who is willing to do and dare." As you can see, I was kind of playing around with the layout and stuff, and I was trying to practice my lettering then as well. Obviously it's come on leaps and bounds since that, but I really like putting these motivational quotes in. It really inspires me to be the best person that I can be. On this next page, you'll see my first year at a glance and future log. I decided to do it on a full double page spread so that I had the space to write the mini calendars at the top for each month and then a space underneath to fill it out. Next up, I've done a bucket list and a future goals spread. I don't really use spreads like this in my current journals. I like to keep my goals more to the short term rather than the overall long term. Then I've done a reading tracker. I thought it was quite a realistic goal at the time to track 40 books to read in 1 year, but now I struggle to get through 4. I'm aiming for 21 this year. But I really like the way that this reading tracker looks. I might have to do this again at some point. And then I've done a quote on the right hand page: "In books I have travelled not only to other worlds but into my own." I always get lost in books, and so this quote really resonated with me. Another example of a tracker that I haven't used is my TV show tracker. I think I'm one of those people where if a tracker's more aesthetic, then I will use it, but if it's not, then I just completely dismiss it. And over on the right hand page of my TV show tracker is my January cover page. I've used a little sticker and I've done some corner borders, and I really like how simple it is. Up next is my mood tracker and habit tracker spread for the month of January. As you can see, I was really consistent in filling them out at first. I really like doing the full monthly spread rather than having to do it weekly. So once I get back on track with tracking everything, I hope to be able to start doing the full monthly spreads again. This is really simple and really easy to keep up with anyway, because it's just the general boxes rather than like a more elaborate tracker. And then over on the right hand page, I've just done a really simple monthly log layout where you can see all of the dates, and it's just easy to see everything. And now we come to my first weekly spread. So way back when I first started, I like to have the dates really big at the top and then just keep it to a really simple horizontal layout, which gives you quite a lot of space. And then like any space that I didn't use, I did just use it to practice my brush lettering, which as you can see leaves a lot to be desired. But I think it's a really nice simple way to start with your weekly layout. I also discovered like doodle prompts in the month of January when I first started journaling. And I really enjoy how it makes you be a little bit creative every day, and I just find it really relaxing, and I feel like it's nice to get the creativity flowing, and it gives you more ideas for future spreads. And my doodling gets better as it goes along. I think the next spreads that I do are a little bit better, but yeah, I think it's really, really nice idea. So we've arrived at the month of February, and I was practicing my cursive a little bit more and practicing on decorating my spreads a tiny bit, like with the leaves up at the top and stickers. And again, I've kept a really simple monthly log, the same habit and mood tracker that I did last month, but I did add a sleep tracker. I didn't really get the style of the tracker right, so the timing is off, so it goes over. So I think I work on that more next month. I think I do it again, but I don't use a sleep tracker anymore. Next, we come on to my first lettering challenge, and I really, really enjoyed doing these. I'm going to start doing them again. It's Llamas Live Lettering Every Damn Day. It's by Cindy, and oh my gosh, like it's just so good to practice, and it's so aesthetic when you get them right, like the word paparazzi I did up there, and the word ventriloquist. I loved the way that turned out, and I think it just really helps to practice your lettering with words that you wouldn't necessarily practice lettering every day, like the word light bulbs. Oh, it's just so aesthetic to me. Then we come on to my second doodle challenge. This is the Oh So Cute doodles. The doodle prompts for these are just really, really good and really out there. Like, it really makes you think how to create something that's so different and out there that you wouldn't think to create usually on your own. Then we come on to a cute quote page that I've just stuck a sticker on and decorated around that. And the sticker says, do what you love what you do. And again, it's just a motivational quote. And then I've got just more simple weeklies where I have like lettered in the sides. I did indoor skydiving, which was really cool. A quote that you will have seen over on my Instagram. And I just like to letter things around like what my day was, and that just helped me practice my lettering quite a lot. I also bought these black stickers that were like chalkboard stickers, and I got my white Uniball gel pen and practiced my just general calligraphy with that, and I really like the way that turned out. And then we've got a savings tracker that I didn't really use, and another quote page where I was practicing my lettering. So it says practice makes progress, and I tried a little bit of ombre and that really didn't work. I need to try that again. I've not attempted it since. Then I've got a monthly themes brain dump page, which I really like the way that this turned out, even though I've not finished it. I need to use some of these themes, but I like how the different styles of lettering and stuff come together. So next up we have my March monthly spread, and for this theme I did a flamingos and like palm leaves washi tape, put a little quote saying stand tall, be fabulous and strut your stuff, and I just did another simple monthly log with a section dedicated to work and then a little next month section down the bottom, which is a bit more than what I was doing. Over on the next page I've got a goals page for the month and like the important dates that are going to be happening that month, and like a wants section as well. And then over on the right hand side I've done a gratitude log, which again I've done it so it's all different like styles of lettering, and I just really love the way that looks all together and just how everything's like fits in around everything else. It's really, really aesthetically pleasing to me. Then I come on to my habit tracker and my sleep log. So this sleep log turned out a lot better in the style that I've done it, and the habit tracker I still use that style of filling out the boxes, because again when it is all filled out, as you can see that big block that's filled out, I find it so pleasing to the eye, and I find when trackers are more like that it's a lot easier to keep filling them out. Then over on this next page is probably one of my all-time favourite spreads that I have done, and I'm so gutted that I haven't finished filling it out. But at the time I was watching Boho Berry all the time, and I really loved the way that she did a mood mandala, so I thought I'd give it a go. And I think I'm going to have to do this again at some point soon, because just the way that it looks, it's just so pretty. And I have managed to fill out all of the actual days, but I've just not completed the actual mandala side of it, which it's just so aesthetically pleasing, the bits that I have done. I've got to do another one. Next up we've got another Llamas Love Lettering Every Damn Day challenge, and I was just trying to practice my basic calligraphy with this, like just with the fine tips of the brush pens that I was using, and I am not at all happy with the way that these turned out. Unfortunately, I did persist with it for the entire month, but I'm really needing to get back to doing these lettering challenges, because they're so good at helping you learn to letter. And then I've got my next Oh So Cute doodles. Some of these I'm so happy with, like the way that Monopoly Man turned out, and like the fairy door and the Rapunzel. Just so some of them are really, really good and make me think so creatively about other themes and stuff that I could do, and this is why I love these challenges. Then we come on to another quote page. So good things take time, which is very true. Again, it's a motivational quote. And then we've got our first weekly for March. It was my birthday, March the 3rd. We had a snow day on March the 2nd where we literally got snowed in. I did live with my partner at that time, and it was literally about 4 feet of snowdrifts, and it's not something that we see often here in Wales. So that was very interesting. And yeah, it's just more weeklies, all in the same layout that I have been doing, but with a bit of washi tape up the top. Now we come on to April, and this is where things start to get a little bit sketchy in this journal, and I start to fall off journaling every day, mainly because this is the month that my nan passed, and I was very close to my nan, so it was quite hard. But I still love the way that I've like laid this out. Like my lettering there has got so much better, and I'm doing like the drop shadow, and I just really, really like it. I'm keeping up with the same kind of layouts as I've been doing previously, like just another simple monthly log. And I've done a goals and a wants page for the month, and a gratitude log as well, which I've done in the same kind of style. And I think that helped me a lot, especially going through such a hard time grieving and things. It helped me to remember what I was grateful for in my life at the time. Next up, we've got my mood and habit tracker for April. And I really like the way that this kind of looks like a scatter graph, and it's really easy to see what kind of mood you're in. And then I've just done a very simple habit tracker there. Then we've got my llamas love lettering every damn day, which I fell off with, unfortunately, because this looks like it would have been such a good month for me doing it. But like I said, it was quite a hard month for me. So I did stop doing lots of things, especially this one, because it was so time consuming for me. So I've got a lot of blank space here that I could have used better, but I unfortunately didn't. So we skipped through onto my oh so cute doodles. Again, fell off with it, especially because the 15th of this month was the date that my nan passed, and that was a kitten. And growing up, my nan had so many cats, and it was just so ironic to me, and I just couldn't continue with drawing them out. It kind of tugged on too many heartstrings after that one. Then we come on to my April weekly spreads, which I really, really like the way that this layout turned out. It's just so simple and minimalist, with it not using all of the space. It gives you a lot of space to doodle and things and do notes around your main task lists. And that to me it's so versatile. Like you can use it for more complicated spreads as well. So like say if you do a more complicated theme, you can doodle all around it, and it's really, really nice and aesthetic. Then we come on to my May setup. So again, I've just done a really, really simple layout. So, well, as you can see, I really stopped filling everything in. Like I said, this was quite a hard time in my life, so I kept that similar kind of setup for the weeklies, and then I put a nice quote page in the middle: be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. But I skipped a lot of weeklies and just moved back to that horizontal layout, and then skipped straight on to June. So it was quite a big gap in my journal, considering I'd been so consistent with it for the first 4 months. And then we come on to June. I really like the way that I've lettered June. I really wish that I'd filled it in and not just left it as the line drawing. I think it would have really popped if it was more colourful. And I've practiced a different style of lettering up on the monthly log there, but I've still kept that monthly log layout very simple. For my weeklies, I reverted back to this horizontal layout, but as you can see, I skipped quite a few pages there again. I do regret some of the gaps that I've got in my journal, but at the same time, it's very important to remember that even miracles take time. Journaling is a journey that is only helpful to you if you are motivated to do it. At the same time, if it feels like a chore, it's not going to help you in the slightest, and it is just going to be a chore. Next up is August, and I like the way that I've lettered this again. I'm practicing a bit more with my brush lettering as well. In that quote page, difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. I like how I've underlined things, and I've started using drop shadows as well. It's just very simple. It's very plain and simple. And then we come on to my first calendar spread like this for my monthly log. And I use this a lot more often now than I do the vertical layout, and I do like the way that it works. It's it's a lot more visually attractive than just the simple list layout. And this is also the first month that I did my weeklies in the style that I still use currently quite often, more often than not. So it's 4 boxes on each page and then a section for your habits. So I stopped tracking my habits monthly because I realised that I wasn't doing it. And again, just using like a drop shadow and empty space and things like that. So then we come on to October and my pitiful attempts at drawing pumpkins. I really like the colour theme I've got going on here. The deep orange with the warm grey, it's very Halloween-y to me. And I've just kept up with that same weekly layout that I was using. But I fell off again journaling and just skipped straight to November. Again, I've kept it very simple, the same layout that I've been doing basically for the majority of the year. And then I've done again the same style of habit tracker that I've been doing with goals for that month, and I've kept up with the same 4-grid layout for my weekly spread. And that just continues throughout the month of November. I did start doing a quote of the week section instead of the habits tracker section, and I think that was a really good idea. So I put, don't forget that you're human, it's okay to have a meltdown, just don't unpack and live there, cry it out, then refocus on where you are headed, which again is just a very like motivational quote. And the next quote that I do on the next week, I think, is because Stan Lee died. So I did, with great power comes great responsibility, which is obviously one of the quotes from Spider-Man. And then we skip straight to me practicing for my next journal in 2019. Obviously, I skipped out quite a lot of dates in this journal, so I managed to fit a full year into one, which I know a lot of people don't manage to do. However, I seem to manage it quite frequently because I always fall off with my journaling. But you will see I have practiced there with, I just got the Tombow Fudinowski pen and the zebra mild liners, just got those too. And yeah, I've just laid out some of the things that I wanted to make sure that I put into my new journal, things that I'd picked up, ways I wanted to lay out my weeklies. I wanted to do a body tracker because I was going to the gym. And like, I wanted to set up my year at a glance different and all these kinds of things. We then skip straight to the back of the journal. I've missed out a couple of pages there, not too many. And we've got my washi tapes that I stuck a sample of each of them in. They weren't my favourite, I just went for cheap ones, just starting out with them. And yeah, my very crude grid spacing guide, it's got a lot more in detail now. I think that was something that I just came up with. I didn't see the idea anywhere. It was just simply for me to just reference every now and again. And then we've got my own pen test page. I don't use the majority of these pens anymore, like the Sayek pens, because I really didn't get along with them at all. Then there is a nice pocket at the back of the journal, which is always handy. I always look for that because I keep all of my stickers and stuff that I don't necessarily use in the pocket at the back. But that brings us to the end of the journal. Yeah, so there we have it. That was the flip through of my first ever bullet journal way back in 2018. I really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll leave a link in the description box down below to all of the products that I've mentioned. Wait until the end screen to see more of my videos for you to check out. I hope that you like this video. Comment down below if you've enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much and bye-bye.